Okay, the tricky part, the JavaScript part. So let's first grab the buttons. So I would say buttons document dot. We can get all the elements by tag name, all that are button, and this will give us all these buttons, and then we can assign each of them to a different variable. So we can here say, let me remove these ones. From the buttons that we have here, grab these ones. First is the loading button, then is the reset button, then it's the small button, and then the medium button, and then the big one. Getting all of these from the buttons. Okay, now we have the buttons all in place. Also, we need to get the progress. So let's say progress is the document dot get element by ID of the progress. Let's go back. Yeah, this is progress, and these are the buttons. Now we need to work with some value, the value that is being passed here. We need to keep track of it here. So let's say the value at the beginning is like 0. Now first let's set this data value here, progress dot set attribute, and the attribute is what? Data value, and this shall be value. Okay, now if I go back, I don't see anything because this 100% is hard-coded. So if I open my inspector, you can see that the data value is set to 0. Okay, although it was 30 here. So let's first make this 0 so that everything is in sync, and then go here, and here where we say the content is like 100, we can say read it from the data value. Okay, great. Now it's on 0. If I go and change this to 30, it would become 30. Great. Let's make this 100 again. Now we need to make this arc shape. Again, remember that I said this arc is going from 0 to 360, but our loading is from 0 to 100. So we need to map that loading value to this arc. So let me go here and say if I get the value, multiply it by 3.6, now this will be mapped from 0 to 100 to 0 to 360. But this needs to be a string that we pass here with the word deg in the end. So let's add that to it as well. Now we need to provide this value to this rule in the CSS. So how can we say that? We can say that this value shall go to progress.style.set property, and we are setting some property. Let's call that property progress, and it's a variable, so we need to say like this, and then provide this value to it. Okay, now this has that property that we defined here, but we need to use this here. So here we can say the var of progress. Okay, now you can see that it's working. If I go and say like 25, if I go and say like 90, it's working. Perfect. The only thing is that I need to provide a 0 here as a fallback, so that if this is not provided, meaning the script didn't load, we could go back to 0. Okay, great. So now everything on the CSS part is working. Then only thing is to write these actions for these buttons.